In depth this morning, the violence along the U.S.-Mexico border and an arrest in that Mother's Day massacre there. Joining us this morning, the Honorable Texas Congressman Michael McCaul. Good morning and thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
Okay. Zeta member Daniel Jesus Elizondo Ramirez, also known as a loco, the crazy one, arrested for that massacre of 49 people, 49 mutilated bodies, I should say, left along the highway. What is happening down there?
It's really horrific. He had 49 bodies cut up into pieces, thrown on the side of the road. I was down in Laredo 2 weeks ago. We met with the federal, state, and local task force. Law enforcement talked about the situation in Nuevo Laredo. We have a war going on between the Sinaloa and the Zetas, and now the Mexican military is coming in, so it's a perfect storm in Nuevo Laredo. It's spiking in its violence. In fact, 2 days after we had that briefing, 23 individuals were hung over bridges and they were decapitated. That's the signature of the Zeta cartel, is to essentially cut their heads off. And
now, they also leave banners saying, we did this.
Oh, yeah, they want people to know, to fear them. And that's why they cut the heads off. They mutilate bodies. Fortunately, we have the culprit arrested, but this violence has been going on, since Calderon declared war against them for a number of years now. 50,000 Mexican people have been killed in this war. That's more than Americans in Iraq and Afghanistan.
And that's in just the past 6 years.
That's correct. Yeah.
Now, will this arrest by El Loco mean anything? Will the violence decrease because he's no longer in the picture?
I don't think so. I mean, you cut the head off and another head grows. And so there are many lieutenants ready to take power because there's a lot of money to be made. It's a very glamorous lifestyle for them. They're young and they don't expect to live very long. So I think this, well, you can cut the head off of the snake here, another head will grow back.
Did the U.S. in any way play a part in the apprehension of El Loco?
Yes, yeah. We actually had very good coordination with the Mexican military, with law enforcement to the extent we can trust them. And the federal police are actually polygraphed in Mexico, so we have a very good coordination with their intelligence community as well to apprehend these individuals. But this what I'm most concerned with is that the fact that this is going on just right south of our border. There are 300 cartel cities where the cartels are present in the United States, including Houston. And so what I'm concerned with is, to prevent that violence we see happening in Mexico start occurring in the United States.
In a sense, that would take us back to the 1980s and the Miami cocaine wars when they did have gunfights in the streets.
Correct. I mean, you remember the movie Scarface and the violence that happened in Miami at that time. We want to do everything we can to ensure that doesn't start happening in the United States.
There's an election coming up in Mexico. Are there concerns on the U.S. side that something that we may not agree with might happen if a new person comes into office?
Yeah, the opposition party to President Calderon is most likely to win, according to, what I've read. The concern, it's called the pre-party. The concern is that historically the pre-party has been more cozy, if you will, with the cartels. We'll negotiate deals and a truce to bring down the violence. So that's the concern, is the pre-candidate could win, and then you'd have a negotiated settlement with the cartels, which would maybe bring down the violence, but the corruption would spike, and the cartels would flourish. And so they'll tell you that they're committed to security. They're going to continue what Calderon has done in a little different way, but we'll see.
What are we doing on this side of the border? There were attempts by some of your colleagues to have the equipment that was utilized in Iraq brought back and then placed along the U.S. border. Yeah. To provide protection.
Well, Congressman Henry Cuellar and I have worked very diligently to look. We have technology that DOD has invested money in. It's tried and true. It's over in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's coming back home, a lot of it. Why not leverage that existing technology in these tough budgetary times and deploy it to the southwest border? So we're talking about sensor surveillance technology. We've met with the Department of Homeland Security officials to try to get that stuff down on the southwest border. They're starting to do that right now. We're able to get 3 UAVs for Texas. These are the drones that can see from the sky and radio down to Border Patrol to apprehend people trying to cross. So I really think technology, that's a piece that has yet to be finished, but I think technology is going to be the answer down there to fully secure that border.
Now, technology is one of the reasons they brought you here to Houston today. You're about to help one of the local energy companies introduce something that would protect us in the event of a terrorist attack on our infrastructure?
Correct. CenterPoint's unveiling with the Department of Homeland Security what's called a transformer, which is really a backup system for energy. We saw with the hurricanes on the Houston coast, power going down in all across Houston, including in my district and Tomball and Katy. This would be a backup system that would no longer happen. It could essentially provide that energy. And in the event, whether it's a natural disaster or man-made, say a cyber attack, and we know that there are those who want to bring down our power grids, our energy systems. This would provide that backup system in the event of a cyber attack trying to bring down our energy.
Congressman McCaul, thank you so very much for spending some time with us here on Fox 26 Morning News.
Jose, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
And we will be right back.